Bitcoin dropped over 20% from the peak at 126K down to the low of 98.9K. And in between, it's been shaking investors like a washing machine on steroids. Up, down again, pure emotional cardio. Some people are already screaming the bull run is over, and others are saying, no, it's just a correction, bro. So who's actually right? In today's video, I'm gonna be brutally honest about what I think. No sugarcoating, no hopium. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where I stand, and hopefully your confusion and anxiety will be gone. If you find yourself nodding along by the end, then good. We're looking at this market through the same lens, and we'll ride this next move together. What's up guys, it's JC. Yeah, I know it's been a minute since my last video. Back then, Bitcoin was sitting around 111K here, and I was still rocking that bullish view. And as I said in my video and my community post, I took partial profits at 116K. Then boom, the market decided to nosedive, and the rest of my positions hit break even. And after that, I didn't make any videos because I had no trades, no setups, no fresh insights. So I stayed quiet, just watched. And then it came the drop below that 99K. And yeah, I'll admit, for a second I thought, wait, is the bull run really over? But if you know, you know. That was just my brain talking. My gut still said nope. So let's get straight to the point. I'm still bullish. So today I'll break down exactly why, my scenario, my reasoning, and what I'm watching next. But before we dive in, if this topic already sounds like your kind of thing, hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps the channel and it keeps me from shorting out of boredom. So here's my first reason I'm bullish. Yes, the 50-week moving average is held. Yeah, I know everyone and their grandma already knows it's a key support line. Yeah, so this purple line is the 50-week moving average and was sitting at 103K. So let's talk deeply about this line. So if you look back at the last two cycles, 2017 and 2021, every time Bitcoin closed below this 50-week moving average, not once, but at least twice, it basically fired the starting gun for a full-blown bear market. So at the end of 2017 cycle, the weekly candle closed under the 50-week moving average twice, and boom, deep bear. And in 2021 cycle, one close was the signal, and two closes, bear season again. And it worked like a rule. The second close below is when the market actually said, good luck, see you next cycle. This time, Bitcoin pulled a miracle again. Again, it held that line and closed above it, and that's not a small thing. Even during the yen carry trade meltdown in August 2024 and Trump's tariff crash in April 2025, we had wicks below this line, but the candle still closed above it. And history just repeated itself. Not sure, the skeptics will say market makers probably pushed up to just trap buyers before sending it back down. Yes, maybe, but you can't just ignore what history keeps showing us. When Bitcoin defends that 50-week moving average, it's not random. It's like a statement. So for me, that close above isn't just a number. I treat this as the market saying, I ain't dead yet. So the second reason why I'm bullish is the USDT Tether dominance facing resistance. And for anybody new here, the USDT dominance basically shows how much of the entire crypto market is sitting in USDT. So if this chart goes up, it means that people are scared and holding cash. And if this percentage goes down, it means they're feeling brave again and jumping back into coins. And on the daily chart, the USDT dominance has been forming this massive triangle consolidation. Like we're talking a year and a half, like almost 2 years of buildup. And guess what? It almost hit the top of the resistance line of the triangle again. And you don't need to be a chart genius to know what that usually means. When a long-term pattern like this hits resistance, that's when things get spicy. So if USDT dominance rejects here and starts dropping, what happens next? Yes, Bitcoin goes up. And it's like watching investors finally get bored of holding cash and saying, screw it, let's send it again. And when that happens, the party usually starts. The third reason for a bullish outlook is a steady 25K setup in the lows. In fact, while checking the chart, I noticed something pretty interesting. During this cycle, every local bottom after a major correction has risen by roughly 25k each time. Here 25, 50k, 75k, and 100k. It kind of looks like Bitcoin's version of a loyalty program. Every dip comes 25k higher than the last. If this pattern keeps doing its thing, then this 98.9k low, basically the 100k zone, could very well be our next local bottom before another leg up. And the last reason I'm bullish is the rotation between gold, stocks, and crypto. I actually mentioned this in my previous video too. When gold starts correcting, that money doesn't just disappear. It rotates. First, it moves into stocks, then it moves into Bitcoin, and after that, it trickles down to altcoins. You know, where people start believing they can turn their $1,000 into a Lambo yen. Recently, gold corrected about 10% from its top, while at the same time, the Nasdaq jumped nearly 8% from its bottom. And that tells you where exactly the money went, straight into equities. Now, the Nasdaq's cooling off a little again, and that liquidity starts searching for the next playground. And guess who's waiting? Bitcoin. And just last Friday, Nasdaq closed red, and on the same day, Bitcoin printed a green candle. And I don't think that is a coincidence. I see that as a possibility of a money rotation. So yeah, we might be standing right at one of those big turning points. And if that's true, you don't want to be on the sidelines when this one takes off. So finally, what's my trading plan? Pretty simple. Right now, I'm not touching any crazy leverage. I'm staying with spot positions because the goal here is not to look smart, it's to stay alive. I'll only start using leverage again once Bitcoin reclaims its 200-day moving average, because that's the level that shows long-term investors are back in control. And when that happens, I'll make another video breaking down exactly how I'll manage those leverage positions and how I'll scale those positions moving forward. Until then, I'm just going to let the impatient traders fight each other while I sit back, sip my coffee, watch my spot backs do all the heavy lifting, and wait for the market to hand me the next clean setup. Alright, let's wrap it up real quick. Number one, Bitcoin just closed above the 50-week moving average, which is a level that has historically marked the line between bull and bear. The USDT dominance has hit a major resistance zone. If it rejects and starts falling, that's your cue. Bitcoin's likely heading up. 3. Every local bottom during this cycle has been about 25k higher than the last. So that recent 98.9k low could easily be the next launch pad. And lastly, money always flows from safety to risk assets. Gold cooled off, stocks pumped. And that liquidity looks ready to knock on crypto's door. Put all of these together, I still believe that Bitcoin's got room to run. But I'll say it again. No swing leverage futures positions until we reclaim the 200-day moving average, at least. Right now, I'm stacking spot. Because in this market, you don't need to be the first to enter, but you just need to survive long enough to cash out. And you know how it goes. Market sentiment can flip in a heartbeat. When everybody's shouting crypto's dead, and when people are mocking those who still believe, that's exactly when the biggest opportunities are born. If you enjoyed today's video, I'd appreciate it if you can hit like and subscribe. It really keeps the channel alive and my coffee consumption fully justified. And thanks for watching till the end. Let's survive this market and make some money. Peace.